Good morning. We're here with the midweek update. Instead of three squares, we're four. We're welcoming Julie Garber to be with us. We're gonna introduce her in a moment and the things that she's going to talk with us about. But first, we're going to give our kind of headlines like we usually do to let you know what's going on. Just a reminder that there is a lot happening this weekend, important events and experiences for families and for the congregation. And so we want to remind you that there are two memorial services happening on Saturday. The first one is the Phil Wilt service that will be out in the Memorial Garden at 10 in the morning. That entire service is going to be outside. And then in the afternoon, the Charles Klingler family will gather for a memorial service. That service will be at 3 o'clock. It will be in the sanctuary with visitation to follow. And we just hold both of those families in our hearts, and we'll put our arms around them this weekend. And then on Sunday, Dennis and Von Metzger have their 50th wedding anniversary open house celebration, to which you are invited as well, and that's on Sunday afternoon. So important things happening, remembrance, celebration, families gathering, and we're glad to be able to be part of that and to support that.
I would encourage us that as we drive into the driveway or the parking lot, to be mindful of if there is a gathering over in the Memorial Garden on Saturday or Sunday, to just be prayerful in your presence among other folks who are moving through those tender spaces. And also, our schedule, our life together as a church is full, but your pastors are here for you. And we welcome you asking us to meet with you. We welcome our time with you. That is so important. So don't hesitate to reach out to us.
So, Julie, again, it's good to have you with us. We'll share in some conversation around the transition and that time coming up in August.
Right. Thanks for having me. I feel like I'm in the inner sanctum here.
The Zoom sanctum.
Yeah.
The Zoom sanctum. Yes. Yeah. Well, we've been in this process of transition for a couple of months now, and we want to do a good job of being in touch with everyone and keeping you up to date on what's happening. And I would just remind you that the members of this transition team who are looking for an interim pastorate and doing some other tasks include Jim Chinworth, Jeff Lehman, Mark Flory-Sturry, Janet Ober-Lambert, Ruth Barrett, Kim Ebersole, and Amy and Seth are both on that team, along with me. So we are available anytime to talk with individuals or groups or classes about this process. So we hope you'll take advantage of that. We have two principal tasks. One is to find an interim pastorate for 12 to 18 months. And we're in the midst of that. We have talked with a number of people. We've taken your suggestions and built a list of about 30 resources to talk to. We've focused down on fewer than that number, and we're in the process of conversations and seeing what that produces for us in terms of leadership. That person will have gifts for worship and worship planning, experience in pastoral administration, leading the staff, managing church programs, that kind of thing. And that person or another person may have an ability for leading groups through visioning processes. Maybe this is one person, maybe this is a couple of people. We're not certain about that yet, but we're talking to people. We'll keep you posted. The other task really is to guide us through the transition. And we've been having some conversations with Sunday school classes and individuals, small groups, who we realize now are needing to express our sadness about the loss of Kurt's leadership and friendship before we transition to planning for the future. And so we will take advantage of some Sunday school class sessions and other opportunities this summer to talk about that. There's some sadness, there's some anxiety about what's next. How will we ever replace Kurt? Which is similar to the conversations we've had in other transition periods. And people are remembering that, what did we do last time? Who helped us through that? So we want to honor that and dwell in that place just a little while before we start thinking about wild and crazy ideas about the future. And of course, we want to be able to celebrate these last 20 years. This is not, it's a closure, but it's with a sense of gladness about our friendship and about the future for you, Kurt. I think we can all be excited about that because we're not losing you in a permanent sort of way. And I don't want us to burden you with that sense that you are abandoning us. So that's important. Nobody thinks that. But there certainly are anxieties, and it's a testament to the way we've been together for 20 years.
Transitions are difficult. They
are. They are. Change is hard.
I really appreciate the way you're leaning into that, Julie, and just the sense of communicating to the congregation. This is where we are. These are the real feelings we have, and this is the group working on planning. All those things are very reassuring.
Yeah. Well, and we still are very open to ideas. Names keep coming to us, even as we've started into the process of talking to people. So this week we've had 2 more names pop up. So it's exciting to think that what we have going here is a challenge and an excitement to others. So we can be glad about that.
One thing I might add, just thinking about something we have discussed on the team, is that Amy and I are putting together a group of people to start worship planning so that we have sort of some things in place for August and September and those first couple months, knowing that as we get some people to start on August 1st, they're not quite ready right now to start getting the planning going. So we are working on getting that stuff done, not expecting that all the work starts to happen August 1st. There's some work that needs to take place so that we're ready for those first weeks and months. So
Kurt gave us that gift of 5 months notice, and it goes by fast, and it's not, even then it's not always possible to have someone who can extract themselves from a current employment and be able and ready to jump in here. So I think we've got great local resources and some we can attract some outsiders, and we'll have a strong continuation of our worship and programs.
I'm so encouraged by just in the 3 years that I've been here, how Kurt has fostered the relationality of this congregation. And so part of the strength of moving into this transition period comes from that foundation, that we are each other's strength. We are each other's glue, so to speak, because we have been nurtured in that way of thinking.
Thanks.
I think, Amy, I appreciate you saying that, but I really think it's the gift of the congregation, and it's been the gift to me and me to the congregation. It's part of the reason we've been well matched is we really are have a strong sense of community and the support that we share with each other. This congregation is an interesting combination of head and heart. We're really stimulated by ideas and plans and organization, but we're also very just really strong in our compassion for each other and for the world around us. And that's just a wonderful, wonderful combination, I think.
It is.
Anything
Any
else?
last words? Yeah.
Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome. I look forward to lots of participation in this process with everyone.
Good. Hope to see you all this weekend in one way or another, especially on Sunday morning in worship. So we'll look forward to that.